Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. Sorry for getting started early today, but I got up early this morning. I did some work on Alchemortis, and then I was like, I want to stream, so here we are. So there's a couple of issues going on with Alchemortis right now. Couple of crashes, and I actually experienced a crash last night while I was recording some footage for my devlog, which I have to finish today. And yeah, so I don't know what's going on with that. The errors are not very helpful. I suspect it's a Godot engine issue. It's not a crash caused by my code. I mean, typically the code that you write for a game won't cause an outright crash of the game, like where it closes. So I'm fairly certain there's an engine issue happening. And now it's just a matter of figuring out if we can identify that issue and also trying to work around it if possible. I have a little bit of a hunch about that, but I'm going to wait to collect some more logs before that happens. But anyway, that's a little bit concerning. What I may end up doing is if the crashes can't be resolved, I may end up just rolling back the engine version to Godot 4.5.1 because I didn't notice any crashes at that point. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, what am I going to do? I think, well, there's the ads to do. Anyway, Alchemortis is available for wishlisting, so go ahead and give that a wishlist if you're interested. It's a dark fantasy roguelite auto battler where you use alchemy to create your own builds. You can also support the game on Patreon. The Patreon early access period for the current playtest of Alchemortis is still ongoing, but the playtest is going live for everyone tomorrow. So that means that you'll get a chance to try Alchemortis tomorrow and let me know what you think. So join the Discord to leave me some feedback if you are so inclined. And yeah, I still appreciate your Patreon support. And thank you to everyone who has been subscribed, who has subscribed in the past, and who subscribed for this playtest. Very much appreciate it. And there's a couple of nice perks here. For example, if you subscribe at the sponsor tier for at least 1 month, I will send you an Alchemortis Steam key for the full game. So you won't have to buy it on Steam if you subscribe at this tier. So this is kind of like a pre-purchase. It helps me out, and you won't have to buy the game on Steam. So anyway, you can also check out my Udemy courses if you want to learn how to build games in the Godot engine. Everything's linked in the description below. Every little bit of support helps, even just liking the video, subscribing to the channel, following on Twitch, all that good stuff. Every little bit helps, so anything that you can do is very much appreciated. Okay, here we are. Hello, Jahar. Welcome. Game dev time once again. Yes. Hello, Clickertail. Emerson, welcome back. Good to see you. Jack at Daytona. Time for game dev once again. Welcome, welcome. Always good to see you. Hello. Emerson from the other side now. Thank you, Jeremy Mills. Good morning to you as well. Already wishlist and looking forward to playtest tomorrow. Excellent. I hope you guys like it. Finally get a chance to visit you live. Awesome. Welcome, Artem. Good to see you. Alrighty. So if you recall, we ended the stream yesterday. We need to update the negative ability text for alchemy. So we made a bunch of alchemy changes, and as far as I can tell, those changes are very solid and they're working well. The problem is we need to display the correct number of negative abilities that the card will have. So yeah, we're gonna have to do that. But I don't think the text down here is going to be appropriate anymore. So I may go back and try to add text to the tooltip here instead. So we'll see. We will see. Because the problem with the text being below the alchemy pot there is that it is what's the word I'm looking for? It is going to be covered by the tooltip. So that's not ideal. How do you do coding? Me, I'm just using AI. Well, I have a lot of experience. That's how I do coding. It's like a second language at this point. Hold on 1 second. 4-star Yelp review. Welcome back. Good to see you. Ew. Okay. So I think I'm going to go back to that approach that I was taking before, where I add like hooks for cards being clicked, or cards having the mouse enter. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Something's bugging out. Okay, dictionary, card, base card, func card tooltip dot card tooltip. I guess we could just do this. Or no, this has to be an action. Card tooltip hooks. So I'm basically just taking the same approach that I did before. Okay. Public void add card tooltip hook base card tooltip hooks base card. Oh, this needs to be a list of action. Okay. No, card tooltip hooks dot try get value outvar hooks question mark equals that hooks dot add hook. Okay, so there's our add card tooltip hook. Let's do public void remove card tooltip hook. I'm gonna do this. I don't like nesting these if blocks. Hooks.remove count, or hooks.remove hook if hooks.count is equal to 0. Hooks remove base card. I don't need this block. It doesn't need to be reassigned because it's a reference, so that's fine. And then public void clear tooltip hooks for card. We're gonna replace this. Okay, and then so I think that's good. I think I have an unregistered card in here. Yeah, let's do clear tooltip hooks for card. Cool. And then we can go to our card tooltip now. And we can say on card mouse entered. We need also in here public void invoke tooltip hooks card tooltip base card. Okay, that's right. So now in here, this dot get card mouse events manager dot invoke tooltip hooks this card. Alrighty. Okay. So now we need to register the tooltip hook. So Alchemy container board inventory component dot card placed. I actually don't remember base card at position. So plus equals on card placed. board inventory component dot card removed. How is this going to work? That's a good question. I didn't think this far ahead. That's all right. That's all right. Private void on card placed. Base card, vector 2, I. We don't care about that. Private void on card removed. Base card. Okay. Greetings from the doctor's rating room. Oh, I hope everything's good with you, but welcome back, Wooius. How long do you think before AI is writing any and all code? I'm gradually transitioning into an AI skeptic. I think that the predictions about how impressive it's going to be have fallen short almost every time, and so I think it's possible that it will happen, but as it stands right now, it doesn't seem like it's that close to me. But what do I know? I'm just a guy. You're on a 5-stream streak. Nice. Excellent. Hello, Monkey Software. I've been enjoying the new Terraria update. It's such an insane price for so much content. It really is. Yeah, Terraria is like perhaps the biggest bang for buck in gaming history. Aside from, free-to-play games. Dry skin on the hands getting checked out. Okay, good to hear that's nothing serious. Good to hear that. Light Tiramisu, welcome back. Good to see you again. So Alc on card placed. So there's a couple of ways that I can do this. This might be a little bit weird, but Alchemy Manager. So what I would do is I would do this dot get card mouse events manager dot add card tooltip hook. Oh, is this card placed? Oh, this might. Let me take a look at this. Board, inventory component, emit signal, card placed. Try place card at position. Actually, I think that's okay. No, maybe not. Try remove card. Shoot. I think there's a small bug here. But anyway, add tooltip hook. This would be card tooltip here. Oh, no. Base card. Card tooltip. So in here, we would do something like I'm going to change this a little bit. Privates, Alchemy Manager, this.get Alchemy Manager. Why does this need to have reset state? Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay. So we do Alchemy Manager, get negative ability data. So we have cards, base card. I'm just going to get this working and then I'll figure out how to actually clean up the hook. To do clean up hook. Get negative ability data. Okay. So now what I need to do is, if I go to my card tooltip, I actually don't know what to do about this. Put this label here. Negative information. I'll just call it negative info label. Grab this. This should be auto wrap. What is the size here? Minimum size. Can I just do that? I don't know. We will see. What's your favorite C# factor that you have no use case for? Favorite C#, oh, feature that I have no use case for? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how to answer that question, but welcome, Just a Janny. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Chris. Welcome back. Stuff is getting released today, so it's all hands on deck. Good luck. Good luck to you. Good morning, Ninja Link. Good to see you all. Welcome, welcome. We are once again trying to get Alchemy to work properly. So let's grab a reference to that negative info label. Negative info label.text is equal to string.empty. Or no, we don't care about that. We'll just do visible equals false. Public void show negative info string info. Okay. So now my Alchemy container here, var negative data. We're just going to say card tooltip.show negative info, string.format. Gain 0 to 1, negative abilities when alchemized. Okay, let's see if that works at all. Good morning, TK421 all day. Welcome, welcome. Shish Iris Live, good morning to you. Is there any difference in using set deferred versus setting visible property directly true or false? Yeah, set deferred will defer the property set to the idle frame. So basically it basically happens, I believe, after everything that happens in process. So the way the game loop works is that, you know, there's a certain order in which all of the methods are called every frame to update everything. You know, there's drawing, there's process, there's all this kind of stuff. And so I believe the deferred setting and calling of functions happens after that life cycle is done for the current frame, but before the next frame processes. So it's basically a way of just pushing an update to the end of everything being processed. So for example, one case where doing something call deferred is very useful is when you're trying to modify something related to physics in an area 2D callback. So area 2Ds, for example, when they emit the area entered signal, that is happening during the physics processing. And Godot doesn't like it when you, for example, add or free new physics objects during that callback. It doesn't like you modifying the physics state during the physics frame, essentially. So what you can do is if you need to, for example, destroy something or free something when an area 2D detection happens, you defer that freeing until after the physics frame, and you will avoid those errors. But it can be useful too for like certain UI updates. So for instance, I've had some situations where having a UI update in a deferred way creates a more reliable layout than if I just do it immediately. So yeah, I mean, it's very situational on when you want to use those things, but there are definitely situations. Okay, look at that. This card will gain 0 to 0 if I put this here. So that needs to be removed. I think that looks fine though. I think it looks fine. So that callback system is working just fine. Card is not contained within Alchemy inputs. Yeah, so that's going to be related to me not cleaning up this hook now. So what I was hoping to do is maybe I think I can just store this. I could do private void card tooltip hook, something like this, and I can take the card tooltip in here. And then I can grab this. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? All right, well, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to do something a little bit wonky here. Let me think. I mean, you know what I could do? I could just modify this. We'll just pass the base card in as part of the hook. Why not? Action card tooltip base card. Base card. Base card. Okay. So now I can do in here card tooltip hook base card. Base card. Paste this in here. And then what I can do is I can say card tooltip hook here. And then when we remove the card, this dot get card mouse events manager, remove card tooltip hook. I think that will work. If hooks dot contains hook return, so we're going to prevent the hook from being added multiple times. And then, yeah, that should work. So that will prevent the hook from being registered multiple times down here. And then I'll remove it there. Hopefully we don't see any errors now. Okay. Do we have any errors? No. All right, good. Okay, perfect. Makes sense. Thanks. You're welcome. Hello, Asymmetrics. A man enters a pun contest in his local newspaper. He sends in 10 puns, hoping at least one of them would win. But unfortunately, no pun intended. All right. That's a good one. No pun intended. Oh wait, I forgot there are children in the chat. A newspaper is like a printed out copy of your For You page from the day before, except it usually contained relevant information about stuff. Yeah. That's pretty funny. So this is still not getting the right negative count, but I think this is better now. How do we feel about that? So obviously I need to format this a little bit better and also not show that if it's going to have no negative abilities. But what do we think about that? Do you guys like that presentation? This card will gain 0 or however many negative abilities when alchemized. What do we think about that? Hello, Tinky. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Any opinions on this? Showing that negative ability gain in the tooltip. TK likes it. Looks good to me. Okay. I happen to like it too. So we'll clean this up. We also need to show this when it's like removing negative abilities, but Ninja Link likes it. Okay, good. All right. So we're on the right track then. We are on the right track. I really like how you build scenes to work independently so you can rapidly test things, no tightly coupled designs. Yeah, for the most part, it's that way. And I think, you know, I've said it before, but yeah, if you start with the approach of like, I think a good guiding principle when you're making your scenes is the scene should be ideally runnable locally. Like you should be able to just run the scene by itself and nothing should break. Now, it may not function properly, and that's okay, but it shouldn't crash. It shouldn't get a bunch of like null reference errors or like, you know, couldn't find this node at the path, whatever. And if you make every scene like that with that guiding principle in mind, then it tends to guide you into a proper way of setting things up, right? So yeah, that's a little way to think about it. Of course, there's more to it. 8 unread sessions. What the heck? Why is this here? Get away from me. I don't know how to turn that off. Oh well, I'll figure that out later. Anyway, so I think this is a good approach. Add card tooltip hooks for extending card tooltip when necessary. So obviously we're not done with that, but all right, so card tooltip hook here. If min negative is equal to 0 and max negative is equal to 0. Actually, let's just do if min negative. Actually, we just need to check max negative. If max negative is greater than 0, then we will do this. Const string range format string. Clickertail likes it. Awesome. Artifact idea. Shoddy ingredients. Higher chance of negative traits. Higher chance of legendary upgraded abilities. Ooh, interesting. That's a good one. Let me write that down. Yeah, I definitely need some artifacts that change alchemy. I think that's a good idea. Increase chance of legendary output and increase negative abilities gained. Hey, first time watcher. Hello, Anthony Walker. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I'm deep into my first game dev project that's actually sticking, and for a few months now, Godot just works for my brain. Yeah, I agree. I think Godot, once you get familiar with Godot, it's like, it makes so much sense. I see you use VS Code. Do you find it not as smooth as using the inbuilt editor? I prefer VS Code, but I feel like I have to save and go back and there's friction. Yeah, I mean, I can't use the inbuilt editor because I'm using C#. So it's not really an option. I have to use an external IDE for it. But even when I do GDScript, a lot of times I will still use VS Code for that because, you know, the Godot editor is fine. It functions well, but it just lacks a ton of the features that you would want in a more full-featured IDE. So like VS Code, for instance, like the find and replace or the project-wide searching tools in VS Code are a lot better just from a functionality and user experience standpoint than trying to do that in the Godot editor. So, you know, it's a personal preference thing. Of course, you know, I have made games, many games, like game jam games with just using the Godot inbuilt editor. And it's totally fine. Like, you can definitely make something functional, but I still find situations, even when I'm using the built-in Godot editor, that I will sometimes run into situations where I just open VS Code anyway, so I can do like a project-wide search for a string or something. So, you know, there are pros and cons to every approach, but it is, I mean, and yeah, it is a little bit of friction to have to toggle back and forth all the time. There are solutions to that, though. Like, you could get an ultra-wide monitor and just have both of them up on the screen at the same time. But, yeah. Okay. So we'll handle that case when we have two different min and max, and then we'll handle the case when the min and max are equal to each other. So that works. Now we actually need to fix this get negative ability data. Yeah, no, I don't think you're doing anything wrong, yeah. Like left out pizza could be good breakfast, could be food poisoning. You won't know until you try it. Yeah. Hello, Nick. Welcome back. Good morning to you as well. Good to see you. Hope your morning is going magnificently well. Let's have a great day. Oh, wait, is this a coded message? Oh, yep, it is a coded message. Very clever, Nick. Very clever. Welcome back, though. Biggest thing with the Godot editor is no auto formatter and no split file view. Yeah. that's a big problem. Yummers. Oh, if only Snupbill was here to see this. Could min and max be the same positive or negative number? I'm going to try to make it so that they can't be negative numbers, but they could be the same positive number, yeah. GDQuest auto formatter plugin, also script IDE plugin, has split file view. Interesting. It's never food poisoning. Okay. So gold shouldn't be shown. Flint. So reagents shouldn't say this. This card will gain 0 to 1. That's fine, I guess. 2 to 3 negative abilities. That's not right, I don't think. Oh, maybe that is right. One to 2 negative abilities, yeah. And then 2 to 3. Okay. All right. So the other thing that we want to do here is we want to say if has initiated alchemy, we're just going to return. Actually, maybe we don't want to do that here. Maybe we want to do if has initiated alchemy, return there. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to the alchemy container, and we're going to remove this negative and positive label here. Okay. Now we need to get the removal of abilities. Well, we should exclude. So get negative ability data, get negative ability count for card. Negative abilities to remove. Well, we'll do one thing at a time here. We'll do one thing at a time. Let's do this. If card.has card definition resource dot card tag dot, oh no, let's do card get tags dot has flag card tag dot reagent. We're just going to return 0. So that should fix the reagents having that tooltip there. I'm never not eating the pizza. Huge spoon. Alchemy results have a chance to remove a negative ability for free. Artifact idea, cracked spoon. Oh, huge spoon and cracked spoon. Alchemy results have a higher chance to remove negative abilities, but has a chance to break. Artifact idea, seasoned cauldron. Reagents have a chance to apply twice during alchemy. Oh, that's a good one. Object reference not set to an instance of object. Oh, right. Negative label. What? Here. Let me write that down. What was it? Seasoned cauldron reagents have a chance to apply twice. Oops, I'm putting that in the wrong spot. Cool. Where would you store data shared between components reused, e.g. visible enemies? I'm trying to make a blackboard, but not sure if I want my components to know about that. Love your stream. Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, welcome, Dan. Trying to make a blackboard, but not sure if I want my components to know about that. Well, I think the whole point of a blackboard is that you usually do want things to be able to read from it, right? So there's a couple of ways to do it. You could, I mean, the way that I'm kind of doing this persistent data, but that's persistent to like a run or the game. So it's not truly global. It's not an autoload node, is I just have like managers. And so like, for example, my card mouse events manager is basically like the thing through which all cards get registered. And then this also drives the drag and drop functionality and various other functionality of the cards, but every card that gets added to the game gets registered with it, right? And so if I ever need to query some information about the card, I can just reach out to this manager, which exists in its own group. So it's being added to a group up here. I can just reach out to this manager and ask for information about the card or manipulate the card in some way. I have the same thing for like the board manager. So the board manager registers all the boards that are in the game. And then again, if I need to like figure out which board owns this card, I go to the board manager and I say, hey, which board owns this card? So, you know, they're kind of global, but they're not like truly global because those things only get instantiated when you enter the run and then they get freed when you exit the run. So the data is persistent, but only for that run, if that makes sense. I'd honestly say don't get too hung up on following OO patterns. Games are different from standard software, and it's not super beneficial to build games like you would an app. Globals aren't as evil as people make them out to be. Yeah, and I think that's true, right? So I think you should still follow good practices. Like one of the reasons I like kind of like this manager pattern, I guess, is that because I'm fetching them by getting them from a group, which means I can access them from anywhere in the tree, there is a possibility that I will be trying to access this in a context where it doesn't exist, right? And so you should still be defensive with your programming. You should, whenever you're reaching out to one of your managers, you should assume that there's a possibility that that can be null. And so as long as you're doing a little bit of defensive programming, the system is still relatively robust, right? But yeah, you know, I don't think you don't need to architect a whole system for getting information to where it needs to be when you could just have like a global or a semi-global manager or something similar that is just much easier to work with. Actually, so this negatives doesn't actually need to be here. Let's just get rid of this then. We actually don't need this anymore. We don't need that anymore either. Okay, that cleans up things relatively nicely. Let's see what happens. Awesome. Very cool. Artifact idea, calculated guess. Negative traits have a chance to reroll to a positive, negative, or nothing during alchemy. That is an interesting one for sure. Hello, K's Yoshi. After 10 years of thinking to make a game, I finally started doing it after countless tutorials. Hope I can stick to it at least. Every time I started something, I dropped it and forgot all I learned. Yeah, it does take a lot of effort. You definitely have to be persistent. Game development is really hard. It actually is really hard. Which sounds weird because we kind of think of games as like these trivial things, and they are kind of trivial. I mean, they're, at the end of the day, they're just entertainment, right? But that doesn't take away from the fact that they are difficult to build. Like Nick mentioned, like you build them in a different way than you build traditional apps. And then of course you have, you know, you've got state changing from frame to frame that you have to manage, which is also a departure from typical app programming. But then, of course, you've got the art that you have to get into the game. You've got the sound design. You've got the game design. And then if you're actually trying to sell your games, then you have the marketing on top of that, right? And it's like all of these skills come together, and that kind of makes it a very, very difficult thing to do, especially if you're not working on a team where everyone specializes in something different. Snake oil, sell cards at a higher price. Ooh. That's a good one. I think Jackie Daytona has come up with like half of these artifact ideas. I don't know what that reference is though. We'll see. That's a lot of ideas, and all of them are very cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm writing the ideas down because this game is going to be packed full of content when it releases. So yeah, I'm very, very much looking forward to release day, but that day is still a way off. Looking at your code base, countless folders, trivial doesn't apply at all. Yeah, I guess I just more so mean like, you know, games they're an entertainment medium. They're not, you know, the kind of game I'm making is not world changing. It's ultimately just something that people will buy and play for fun, which is, you know, that's valuable in a certain sense, but it's, well, I guess that's just what I'll say about that. We love games, though. We love them. Artifacts are fun, yeah. You glued Wind and Mario character Yoshi together. Nice. What do you use for your to-do board? Looks really cool. It's Obsidian, the note-taking app Obsidian with the Kanban plugin. He's a guy modding SM64 and applying some of the most impressive optimization techniques I've ever seen, and his avatar is Yoshi. Oh, okay, interesting. I'll definitely check that out. I saw somewhere that somebody was like making a Minecraft clone for the Dreamcast, and like I was blown away because it's like Minecraft feels like a very heavy game when you play it, but I guess it can just be hyper optimized to the point where you can get it like at least the world rendering, the voxel world rendering on Dreamcast, which is kind of nuts. All right, what am I doing? I need to get the negative abilities to remove being added. Let me see if the honey even updates this. I want to make sure that that's working. It could be world changing if you think, for example, someone depressed plays your game and have a blast, getting at least partially healed, especially when you play long-term games like Stardew Valley. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how likely my game about constructing an army of the dead is going to raise people out of depression, but hey, it might happen. Okay, it looks like the honey is indeed working. Now if I put 2 honeys there, Okay, so there's going to be a weird thing here because this knocks down the range of negative abilities. So this is 1 to 2. Let's do this. This is wrong. This card is not going to gain 0 to 1 negative abilities. That's not correct. This card is going to gain 0 negative abilities. So I need to account for... Let me think about this. I need to account for how many other abilities are actually in the pool. So let's do that. Let's see if I can fix that. Okay, so var potential abilities to add is equal to card to possible new positive abilities, card.count. Okay, potential abilities to add. So var max additional positive abilities, var min additional positive abilities. And then we'll add these together. Min additional positive abilities, max additional positive abilities. Okay, let's see what that does. Even if it's a stupid reason, at least it keeps you going. Yeah, I guess that's true. Call from the deep. The enchantment nodes have extra tentacle for choice. Oh yeah, well that would be a hard one. I have to restructure the whole thing, but it's a good idea. I love retro modding and homebrews. Someone just got ray tracing working on Sega Saturn with a decent frame rate. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, all good. Artifact Hunter and other choices present at artifact events. Oh my goodness, these are difficult ones. Wait, I'm confused. Why would the maggot gain 1 to 2? Doesn't only add a single ability at a time? No, I changed it so that cards can gain 1 to 2 additional abilities instead of just 1. I may change that, but I figured since I'm reducing the randomness a little bit, or quite a lot in the alchemy now, then reintroducing some of that randomness by giving cards potentially 2 new abilities from the inputs would be a way to do that. So we'll see. We will see. I love Cthulhu ideas in games and the colors. Yeah. Welcome back, Dione, by the way. Good to see you. Why is this not... This card to new positive abilities shouldn't be... That should never be null for the card. I don't understand. There should always be a key in here. But I guess I'll just do it the right way. Okay, let's try that. Gunforge. Player cannot heal all statuses that stack twice. Oh, that's a good one. Cannot heal is an interesting one. Good to see you too. All right, let's see. So if I do skeleton mage, and then I do maggot, this card will gain 1 negative ability when alchemized. That makes sense. And then if I do here, this card will gain 0 to 1 negative abilities when alchemized. That's correct. So if this gains 2, it will gain 1. This card will gain 1 to 2 negative abilities. This card will gain 1 to 2. But if I drop this back out, this card will gain 1 negative ability, and this one will gain none. Okay, so that works. Now put this back in here. Let's put that in with the incense. 1 to 2 negative abilities. I put honey in there. Actually, this should gain 1 negative ability. Cool. And then if I put the honey in there. Oh, that's not honey. So this needs to indicate now that this is going to remove an ability. Now the problem here, I bet you if I did that, card will gain 1, put the rat here, remove this. This card will gain 2 negative abilities. Oh. So let's fix that language real quick. Description utils.pluralize. Int count. Max negative ability. Abilities. Okay. Now I just got to figure out, so this will gain 2 negative abilities. I put that in there. Gain 1 negative ability. Now if I added another honey, it should say remove 1. Okay, there's quite a few circumstances to test here. How does that logic end up working out? Max negative ability count. Okay. I actually don't know how this is going to work. So I'm deducting the negative ability count here from the min additional positive abilities. I actually don't know how I'm going to get this to work. Oh man, I don't know what's so hard to understand about this. So I have the honey, it needs to remove, not only does it knock down the number of negative abilities that you're going to get, but it can remove negative abilities that already exist on the card. So I just need to figure out what the logic is for that. I think if max negative ability count is equal to 0, so we do var negative abilities to remove is equal to 0. Removed negative ability count. Remove negative ability count is equal to mathf dot min negative ability count, negative abilities to remove. Is that right? I have no idea if that's correct. We'll figure it out. So we could just return this, I guess. And the alchemy container here, removed. Okay. If removed is greater than 0, I'm sure there's like an edge case here that I'm not thinking of. That's what's kind of tripping me up. But we'll figure it out. Oops. Okay, then we go to color. Change this to green. Positive info label. Okay, show positive info. Public void. Show positive info. String info. All right, let's see what happens. I have no idea if that's going to work, but we'll try it. Oh, wait, the other thing I wanted to do, I have to go to my card tooltip and make that invisible when it gets cleared. Positive info label.visible equals false. Probably true damage for the Gunforged as well. Artifact idea, weight of Sisyphus ally cards have negative traits are applied to enemy cards as well. Ooh. Not Sisyphus Atlas. Cannot English today. That's an interesting one. Parts of Frankenstein. Each one gives a simple effect, but if you put them all together in the cauldron, they create a monster. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I can definitely do something like that. I like the idea of having an artifact that scales off of negative abilities too. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see what happens. So let's put this on. Card will gain 1 negative alchemy if I do this. And then if I do this, okay. So let's do that. That will get echo. And if I put this on here, oh wait, got to take it out of the grid. This card will have 1 negative ability removed when alchemized. Okay, that works. Let's do this. This card will gain Why does it say 1 to 2 sometimes? Oh, it's random. Oh. So that's because gold is sort of transmuted under the hood. So I probably just need to fix, like if gold is, if there's a transmuted card, I probably just need to fix that to like 1 to 2. So we'll fix that. But let's just go ahead and do this. We've got 2 negative abilities, okay. So now if I do this, and I put this here, gain 1 negative ability, boom. And then if I do this, that didn't work. So it doesn't work. So it says 1 negative ability, but if I put this in, that goes below 1 negative. But then if I put another one in, why is that not working? If max negative ability count is equal to 0, negative ability count, negative abilities to remove. Wonder why that's not working. I mean, I think my logic is wrong here, but let's attach this. Negative ability count 2, negative abilities to remove 2. Max negative ability count is 1. Why is max negative ability count 1? I think I'm confusing myself with this logic. Oh my gosh, why is this so freaking hard? Ugh. Ability plus negative abilities to remove. Deducted. It'd probably be easier just to make this go below 0 instead. Because this is taking the stability plus the negative abilities to remove. Shoot. Hello, Kezer B. Welcome, welcome. You also immediately thought of Exodia. Artifact idea, Cursed Jackals. You can no longer increase health. Instead, health upgrades give stacking damage. That's a good one. Drinking problem. Health potions have a chance to apply half or double their value. Okay. I like this one. Let's see. Health upgrades no longer increase health and instead apply damage buff. Okay, that's an interesting one for sure. I think I need to change this. Instead of doing math up, let's just do min negative ability count, max negative ability count. Let's change this to current negative ability count. is less than 0. And then here, mathf.max 0. Wait a minute. I have no idea what's going on here. I have no idea. I'm getting all tangled up in this logic. There's got to be a simpler way to do this. There has to be a simpler way to do this. I don't know. I don't know. Ah, fudge. Why is this so difficult? All right. I might just take a different approach to this. This is just too hard to reason about. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. It has to be fixed. There has to be a better way to do this. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we will finally figure out what the heck we're doing with this. I just think that, yeah, it's just, there's a lot of conditions here. It's not super straightforward. So I may just rework this a little bit and see if I can make it a little bit more readable, a little bit more understandable. So yeah, but we'll handle that when I get back in just 3 minutes, and we will continue on. Hello, I'm back. Artifact idea, marching orders. Turn speed reduced for allied minions by 1. All other allied tag cards at an increase of 1 turn. Ah, marching orders. That's a good one. Dang, Jackie Daytona's gonna fill the game up with artifacts. Turn speed increased for allied minions. All other allied, or turn speed reduced for allied minions. All other allied cards increase turns. Turn cooldown. Let's do turn cooldown. Popping in to see what we got going on today. Hello, Pawn X Pawn. Welcome, good to see you. I think it may be useful to step back and pseudocode the problem, step through your code that actually applies, removes the negative abilities, and structure the logic from there. Well, that's what I am doing. I know how the logic works. I just can't wrap my head around how to actually model that differently. Because this is not operating with all of the same data or functionality as this down here. So all of this code works when applying the negative abilities and removing negative abilities. It's just distilling that down into the counts of like how many new negative abilities are going to be added is a little bit difficult. And the reason is because there's an element of randomness in here, right? So this will add 1 to 2 positive additional abilities, but because I'm using take in here against certain certain lists. So for example, every input card maintains a list of all the possible abilities that can be added to it, but this is up to 1 to 2 additional abilities. But if there aren't enough abilities in this array, for instance, then it won't take that many. So, but because I'm not doing any of these operations, because I'm not doing any operations in there up here, I'm kind of like modeling it differently. Now, one thing that I could do, and what I was doing before I reworked all the alchemy system again, is I had basically just constructed all of this data for myself without actually applying any of it, and then put that into an object so that I could use that one object for both systems, for both just getting the count of things, but also actually creating the output. So I may do something like that instead. The problem is, like, I don't know. So everywhere where I'm setting this base card here, like I'm actually setting the data on the base card, instead of doing this all sort of in line here, I could take just all of the data out and store that in an object. I would have to modify this though. See, that's the problem though, because there's a random element here. I'd still have to somehow handle that case and say, well, here's the range of possibilities. So it would be really easy, I think, or relatively easy to just take all this logic, take anything that's just data out of here. Take anything that's just data out of here and shove it into a single object, and then use that object for both the UI display as well as actually doing the alchemy. I just have to figure out what to do about this element of randomness here. Is this used anywhere? Nope. Get rid of this. Goodbye. Maybe I'll take that approach. That might work. Pseudocode is life. File customer prices increases at the shop, as do their rarity. You can only buy one item before getting kicked out. Ooh, that's a good one. Should probably write these down in the Discord instead of YouTube. That would be helpful. I'm not writing down every idea, obviously, but these are giving me like secondary ideas to work with, for sure. The data can include the range, and when it gets applied through Alchemy, you handle the range in the applicator function. Yeah, all right, let's, so we've got this Alchemy ability card data. This is not used here, okay. So let's just break this down then. Let's just do this. I should probably, the problem with doing this on stream is I have my window zoomed in, so I don't have nearly as much space as I would like, but let's see if we can make this work. Okay, let's just grab one thing at a time. So get abilities from reagents, that can be just, well, probably should. Actually, that's fine. I don't even know why this is up here. This doesn't need to be here. Okay, so we'll go one step at a time. We don't need any of this information. We don't need any of this information. Original abilities to take. So let's do Alchemy output data. Let's change this to input card. Public bool is legendary. Okay. Desired additional positive abilities. So this is the part where I'm going to have to handle this differently, but we're just going to bring all this stuff over. Critical chance. Let's change this. Public. Float. Final critical chance. Get init. Card to possible new. Okay, so we probably need a Alchemy manager. Oh, I can't do that. Okay. Let's do this then. Private Alchemy output data, get Alchemy output data. Do we have the Alchemy manager here? Okay, that will probably work. Okay, so we put all that data there. We should probably put the enchantments. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Okay. So what do we need then from this? All positive abilities to add. So yeah, we really just need this all positive abilities to add. So we'll do required, required, required. Am I setting the critical chance? Probably want to grab that too. Let's change this to card. Okay. Hey, sorry, I was in a match. Your game sounds interesting. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you could check out the Steam page. It's linked in the description below on YouTube and on Twitch. You should zoom out. I'd be surprised if anyone is watching specifically to read the code. Well, this is what the normal size looks like that I work with, and it's probably not readable for you, which is not that interesting as a viewer. So it's fine. I can deal with it. I can deal with it. Public required list base composed ability. Positive abilities to add. Get init. Is there anything else that I want in here? Okay. So maybe that will work. Let's rename this to card. All right. Is legendary. We're gonna have to figure out what to do about that. Did I spell this wrong? Oh, I put that in the wrong method there. Okay. And now what else? I still need a number. Public required. Int negative ability count to add. I guess I should have used this window. Oh well. Negative ability count to add is equal to remaining negative abilities to add. So I'll need another piece of data that's like how many negative abilities are being removed, but that's probably okay. I'm here for the code, but I wouldn't be bothered if it was zoomed out a bit. Already have. Awesome. Thank you. Saw your post on the Reddit subreddit and found it curious that you're not using sprite keyframes, only scale and position. From what I understand, the game is very fluid. Confess this approach. I like this approach, and I learned a lot from the Vampire Survivors clone course. Yeah. That is... Yeah, that's like my favorite way of doing animations. You can just kind of like use the crunchiness of the low resolution to get some nice animation effects from just using the animation player. I think that's probably just going to keep using that style. It's relatively easy to do. I don't have to draw frame by frame animations, and it looks good, I think. Don't you want the range of negative abilities to add? Yes, I do, but I'm doing one thing at a time. So now here, var output data is equal to get alchemy output data base card. Okay. So if output data, well, that's kind of redundant here, I guess. Maybe I don't need this is legendary here then. I guess I don't need that. Oh, wait a minute. Do I need that? No, I don't think I do. So we don't need any of this. I do need the negative abilities to add is equal to original negative abilities to take. So we'll put that in there. Output data dot negative abilities to add, negative ability count to add. Okay. So we've basically removed all the ability compilation logic from this, and now it's literally just constructing the card out of that data. So that should work. Now the next thing is we have this alchemy manager. Do I even need this? I guess I don't. So yeah, I need to handle this math-util rand_i range here. So this is going to be the next step. I think one thing I could do is I could say min positive. Well, I do need the range in here. Let's see. So we'll figure out how to get the range in here now. Total negative abilities needed. Yeah, so this is going to be all based on all positive abilities to add .count. Yeah, I still don't know how I'm going to do this. How am I going to support the range in here? I mean, the easy brute force way to do it is just to say, how many abilities do I want to take in here? Something like this. And I just call this twice and compare the outputs to each other. That's a little bit heavy to do twice, but that would be the easy way to do it instead of just having to account for the range in here. But is there an easier way to do that? total negative abilities needed, all the positive abilities minus the stability minus negative abilities to remove. Then we take the original negative abilities, and then we calculate how many new negative abilities we're going to have. I guess what I could do is I could maybe do a range here. Max additional positive abilities, put those there. And if I have a range, negative ability count to add. No, that doesn't help either. Shoot, what am I gonna do here? Oh, why is this so freaking hard every time? All right, I'm just gonna do it the dumb way. I don't care about this anymore. Well, yeah, int new abilities, new positive abilities to add. I'm just going to do this a dumb way. I'm tired of working on this. Output data, get alchemy output data, math util RNG, rand I range 1 to 2. Okay. Yummers, hello Clickertail. Welcome, welcome. All right, so let's just get this working and then I'll figure out how to optimize this later, but I'm tired of digging holes, Grandpa. Okay, so get negative ability data in here. Get negative ability count for card. We can get rid of all this now. And we're gonna say var min output data is equal to get alchemy output data for card 1, max output data, get alchemy output data with 2, and then we return min output data negative abilities to add. No, return min output data dot negative ability count to add. What is it doing here? Max output data dot negative ability count to add. The gameplay code do be like that sometimes, yeah. Just construct lists of possible abilities to add in the get alchemy output data. Get alchemy output data should only be constructing data and actually apply the logic. Yeah, I mean that's essentially the same thing I'm doing here, right? Whether I construct multiple lists, each with the different possibilities, or just call this twice, is the same thing, right? Maybe a little bit heavier. So yeah, this is not applying any logic. This is just collecting all the data. The logic, the application of that data is being done here. So yeah, we'll see. This should work, I think. All right, I still don't have the negative abilities to remove, but we'll figure that out in a second. We'll figure that out in a second. All right, let's see if it works. We'll gain 2 negative abilities when alchemized. We'll gain 1 negative ability when alchemized. We'll gain 1 to 2 negative abilities when alchemized. So that seems right. Oh, it broke. Where did this break? Giving key was not present in the dictionary. 196. Why is this breaking now? Why is that breaking now? Hello, Neozoid. Welcome back. Good to see you. Why is that breaking all of a sudden? So it says this key is not in the dictionary here, but that should not be true. Well, let's just put a breakpoint here. See why that's breaking, because this is being constructed with the alchemy. Nope, wrong thing. He not found what? Why is this empty? Get out. Input cards is here. That is the alembic. 4 card. Alembic. Non-reagent input. Why is that not working? Why is it not assigning? I don't know why it's not assigning these things. Oh, yeah. I don't know why this is so difficult. Is it never calling collect stats? Maybe it's never calling collect stats. So maybe it's not valid. Oops. Okay, I guess that works. It's not valid. What's my validation error? Add at least 2 cards to the pot. Okay, so the reason it's not being collected is that there's not 2 cards in the pot. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Might have to rework the validation system too, because this collect stats basically needs to happen, but is there a reason why? I don't know. I think there was a reason before why I couldn't call that before validate, but I wonder if I can just, well, transmute cards. That shouldn't really be happening here either. Let's just get rid of this. I hope that will work. I don't think I need to cease constructing the objects if it's got a validation error. I don't think that's necessary. Anymore, anyway. I think it was before. Okay. This card will gain 1 negative ability when alchemized. So this is being transmuted under the hood every time too, so I don't really want that to happen. I don't want that to happen at all. Although I do need to handle the gold specifically in a weird case, because the gold could be transmuted into a card that has many abilities, and so that does need to be reflected in this, but I'm going to have to handle gold specially in any case. So that's going to be a little bit... Oh, why? This is so freaking... There's so many like little cases that need to be handled. This gold is not a trivial case to handle either. Oh, it's the struggle. Anyway. And it broke again. All right, cool. Very cool. 194. Oh, wait. Alchemy Manager 194. I don't know why. I don't know why things are breaking like this. Maybe that's related to the gold again. Firebelly is the best. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to the stream. Love the art style. Llama Toast, welcome, welcome. This is not for your McDonald's. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'll use a different $10 for McDonald's. How's that? Thank you, Shirley. Shrami Dev, hello. Welcome to the stream. I don't know. I didn't really change much of anything, so I don't know why this is breaking all of a sudden. This card. I'm really not understanding why this is breaking all of a sudden. All I did was shift some things around. I didn't make any changes to how the alchemy actually works. I guess I did, I mean, obviously. But this, I don't understand this. This should never be missing the card in the dictionary. That should never happen. And yet it is happening. What two cards are in here? Oh, I know. I made a mistake here. I'm passing in this card, this new card that I'm creating, when I should be passing in the input card here. Okay, that makes sense. So let's grab the output data first, and then we'll construct the card. Okay, that makes sense. Goodness gracious. Buy some vegetables? No, I will not. Actually, I love vegetables, so it's fine. How you move 3D up there on the, how you removed 3D from up there toolbar or top bar. Welcome to Bug World, yeah. You could go to Editor, Manage Editor Features, and you can turn off all kinds of stuff in here. So I turned off all the 3D nodes. I also turned off the game view, and I turned off the asset library and 3D editor. Cleans things up quite nicely, I think. Okay. It is finally working. It is finally working. Still, this doesn't solve the problem of my negative abilities. 0 to 1 negative abilities, 1 to 2 negative abilities. Then if I put this in here. Yeah, so now I actually need to get the honey working with removing abilities and showing that in the tooltip. But it feels good at least to have all this logic standardized now, so I'm not trying to replicate this logic separately now. So that means that the tooltip data is being powered by the same code that is actually spitting out the output. So that definitely helps. So the next challenge now is to get it working with showing which negative abilities are going to be removed. Streamline Alchemy. Okay. Remaining negative abilities to add. Total negative abilities needed. So I think maybe this will be easy. Public required int negative abilities. Negative ability count to remove. Then we do negative ability count to remove is equal to. And this might need to be a range at some point. Oh no, it won't. I can just compare this. So since I'm running this twice for the tooltip purposes, I can just compare this number, the min and max again. So negative ability count to remove is equal to original abilities. Let's see. This can be original negative abilities to take. Ah, shoot. Okay. Negative abilities to add equals negative abilities to add, and then negative abilities to remove is equal to negative abilities to add dot count minus no. Is this right? I have no idea if this is right. So we've got the negative abilities that we're adding. No. We need to use this total negative abilities needed. because that's powering both this and that. Yeah, the problem is this getting clamped though, so I actually don't know. So wait, we do need to, so we original negative abilities to take dot count. So we're going to take the current number of negative abilities minus total negative abilities needed, right? And we'll do a math_of.max here. So if the total negative abilities goes above the original count, that will be a negative number, it'll be clamped to 0. But if the total negative abilities needed goes below the current negative abilities count, then it will give me the number of negative abilities to remove. Okay, I think that's right. Now the question is, does this need to be a range? I think so. Yeah, that needs to be a range. Okay. Well, we have the data now. So we go to the Alchemy container. This is probably going to need to be... I should probably turn this into an object, but let's do min removed int max removed. Min removed is min output data dot negative ability count to remove. And then max output data negative ability count to remove. Okay. Min negative to remove int max negative to remove. Okay. If max removes are greater than 0. Okay, I think that's right. Let's see what happens. Create a video on using another engine like Unity or Unreal for first time. No, I don't think so. I don't have any interest in using those engines. I mean, I'm sure it would do numbers. I'm sure it would make me more of an e-celeb, but I don't really have any interest in even pretending to learn those engines for a YouTube video. Alrighty, we're cooking now. Budget Jim, welcome. Chicken dinner already? I think we're good. I think if I did everything correctly, which is highly dubious, then we will see. We will see. So let's just load up a bunch of abilities on the maggot. Well, let's see, honey. Okay. Now let's put 2 honeys in here and that shouldn't say anything. Okay, good. Let's put an ability on the maggot, a couple of abilities on the maggot. So we got 2. Okay, let's try this case. If I put this in here with the honey, this card will have 1 negative ability removed when alchemized. Let's put 2 honeys in there now. It's still just 1. Okay, perfect. Now, let's do a bat head. This will have 2 now. So I do this, put the honey in there. We'll have 1 negative ability removed. Boom. We'll have 2 negative abilities removed. Perfect. Now what happens if I put the skeleton mage in here? Is that right? Oh, right, the skeleton mage only has one ability, so that makes sense. So this will say it has one negative ability removed, but that will be canceled out by adding one new ability. So this will basically just not gain any new negative abilities. Yeah. Let's put gold in here. Excellent. Okay, I think this is working. Gold is still being transmuted under the hood, but that's all right. So we'll gain 2 negative abilities. If I put this here, we'll gain 1 negative ability. Okay, all right. That seems to be working. I don't have any more honey though. I want to get into a situation where, I don't have any cards on the board that have more than one ability. So let's fix that. Let's get rid of the skeleton mage. Let's get rid of these newt tails. Let's get rid of the flint. We'll get rid of the gold as well. Let's put zombie on here. We're almost there. We almost got it. Okay. So let's put echo on the maggot, and let's also do incense. The maggot's going to gain 1 negative ability. Oh, did I not use the echo correctly? I don't think I did. Let me try that again. Maggot, echo, incense. 2 negative abilities. Okay. Perfect. So I bring this over. I put this here. Then I put the zombie on. 1 to 2 negative abilities. 0 to 1 negative abilities. Wait a minute. So yeah, it doesn't work in this case. I would expect it to see... Oh, no, wait. 0 to 1. Maybe this just doesn't work. Maybe my logic is wrong for actually stripping the legendary. So it could gain up to 1 negative ability here. But that means if I put the honey in here, it should lose up to 1. So it should have 0 to 1 removed. I wonder if that's going to work. So this is either going to retain 2 negative abilities or it's going to lose a negative ability. It lost a negative ability. Okay. So I think it's just the tooltip that's not working. It's probably my logic in here. No, that should work. Okay, let me reconstruct that situation in the debugger here, and we'll step through. You don't have a case that allows for a chance for both positive and negative to be shown? Is that true? I think those are handled separately, yeah. I think there's just something weird with this. I mean, maybe the numbers are being calculated wrong as well, but let's see. So let's put echo on the maggot with the incense again. Okay, so we've got that. Oh shoot, this is not going to work. I didn't, no, that's okay. 1 negative ability removed. 0 to 1 negative abilities. Okay. Let's put this here. Let's put a breakpoint there. If I do this, max removed is 0. Okay, so max removed is not correct. These are all zeroed out. Probably because I'm clamping it. Probably because I'm clamping it. Let's see. So this would be 2. Well, we could just step through this, I suppose. Oh wait, am I looking at the wrong thing? Oops, I was looking at the wrong thing. My bad. Okay, original negative abilities to take dot count is 2 minus total negative abilities needed is 1. Right, so max removed is 0, min removed not equal to max removed. Was I just looking at the wrong thing? Don't tell me I was just looking at the wrong thing. Interesting. Hold on a second. What am I missing here? Max removed. Oh, I see. Min removed. Do I have these reversed? Why is this min? Oh, maybe this is just reversed somehow. Max removed. Huh? Max removed. Did I get these flipped? Or is it just... Okay, so it's just not quite correct. Okay, so min output data, negative ability count to remove is 1, and max is 0. Okay, it's because of the way that the negative abilities to remove is flipped. So I think I could just, if min removed, so this actually just needs to be flipped. So it's just kind of a weird way of thinking about it, I guess. Because this min output is related to having the minimum additional abilities added, which means that I'm going to have the maximum number of negative abilities removed, right? So this min removed is a little bit weird because this is actually going to be a bigger number than max output. I should probably, I mean, I could rename this. So max, so min output removed. Let's actually rename min output removed count. Max output removed count. Probably be better to just construct this as an object so it's a little bit easier to reason about, but okay. All right, let's see if that works. The chat delay in the YouTube app is gone. Oh, nice. Very nice. I fear no man but that thing. Yeah. Don't flip it in the label string because you still want to show 0 and 1 and not 1 to 0. Right, that's true. No, it does need to be flipped. It does need to be flipped because the max output is actually going to have the lower number and the min output is going to have the higher number. So I'm pretty sure it does need to be flipped. That's just a consequence of like how that number is calculated and the language that's being used for it, which is not ideal, but we'll fix that at some point. Oh, this is interesting too. Wait a minute. Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, we're good. Anyway, let's just dump that in there. Okay, we grab this. We do that. We do this. 1 to 2 negative abilities. 0 to 1 negative abilities. We'll have 0 to 1 negative abilities removed. Excellent. Is it working now? 2 negative abilities removed. 1 negative ability removed. Okay. I think we're good. There we go. You're right. Sorry, I keep confusing you. No, it is confusing. I should definitely put some effort in to at least make that clear, at least from the language in the code. But I think it's good now. Okay. That was quite an ordeal. I still don't like that I have to... I still don't like that I have to like run this operation twice. But I suppose it's fast enough. It would just be nice to be able to do this all in one shot, but... yeah, I guess it's not a huge deal. It's not a huge deal. The most important thing is that it works, and it's probably not going to cause any noticeable issues whatsoever. Okay. Get negative ability tooltips working. Oh, goodness. I'm sure there's going to be a bug somewhere that comes up, but that's less likely to happen now that this is all unified in here. So again, this all is not only driving the tooltip, but it's also driving the actual card output. So there really is currently not really a risk of these two things deviating. So the only thing that there would be an issue with is if I'm doing my tooltip logic wrong here, but this should just produce the same output as this here, basically. Okay. Pair programming is difficult over YouTube chat, yeah. All right, anyway. I think that's good. All right, so it is lunchtime for me, and I'm going to spend this afternoon working on the devlog that's supposed to release tomorrow. And the devlog's only like 30% finished, so I have to do a lot of editing. But if I end up doing another stream today, I'll hit up the Discord. I'll send a notification there, so I hope to see you there if I do. Otherwise, I'll be back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. So again, hope to see you there, and I hope you enjoyed the streams. Thank you all for your support. You can wishlist Alchemy on Steam, so please check that out. It's linked below. You can support the game on Patreon. Again, the playtest is currently live for Patreon members. So if you are so inclined, you can subscribe to Patreon to get access to the playtest right now. However, the playtest will be available to everyone starting tomorrow. So there's no need to support on Patreon to get access to the playtest. And yeah, join the Discord so you can leave feedback when you try it. The playtest will be live when I launch the YouTube video tomorrow. So keep an eye on the YouTube channel. Of course, I'll also post updates in the Discord so you can see that. None of the stuff that we've been working on in the past couple of streams will be in the playtest, but the playtest still, has a bunch of good content and stuff for you to try. So anyway, thanks again, everyone. Really appreciate the support and the chatting and the assistance. You said hello to me twice in the stream. Oh, I did. Okay. Good luck finishing up the devlog. Thank you. Have fun editing if possible. Yeah, no, editing is not fun, but it has to be done. All right, take care, everyone, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.